Right. Minus 4 x to the power of 3 y to the power of 5 times negative 5 x y squared. Okay, so whenever I have a multiplication or a division of exponents, right, we don't look for like terms. Right? We work simple multiplication division starting with sign. Then the second step, we work with numbers. And the third step, we work with each alphabet. Each alphabet. Okay, so sign has nothing to do with number or alphabet. Number has nothing to do with sign or alphabet. And alphabet has nothing to do with the sign or another alphabet. Okay, so it's all completely separate. So it's the same rule for multiplication division. So we deal with sign times sign or negative times negative. What it is? Positive. Okay, then we deal with numbers. 4 times 5, it's 20. And now x cubed times x to the power of 1. X to the power of 4 and y to the power of 5 plus 2, 7. So it's done. Okay. Number 2 is the division question. Negative 14 divided by 21 x cubed y squared and y. You see, in writing, in copying the question also, I copied the sign first. Then I copied the numbers. Then I copied alphabets one by one. I did not write numerator one time. Okay. So the way you think, the same way you work also. So first thing, we talk about sign. Negative divided by positive is negative. And 14 divided by 21, both of them, they are in table of 7. So it's 7 times 2 and 7 times 3. So it's 2 over 3. Right. And then we deal with x to the power of 1 divided by x to the power of 3. So division, we subtract the powers. X to the power of 3 minus 1, which is 2. 3 is bigger power, which is in denominator. So my answer is in denominator. And then we deal with y. Y squared divided by y to the power of 1. So bigger power is in numerator. So my answer will be in numerator. That's number 2. Then number 3. 2 x to the power of negative 1 times 3x. Okay, before I apply any rule, right, this is my problem. I don't like power negative. Right? So I will change numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator. What is it at this moment? Numerator or denominator? Numerator. So if I don't have a denominator line, I'll create a fraction line. Okay. And only this part, which has the negative power, will go in denominator. Okay. So the rest, do they have a negative power? No. So they will not change. So first thing is the changing. Second step is working out. Okay. So numerator x, denominator x cancels out. Okay. So what I'm left with now? 6. See, if you don't convert that negative power, you might have a problem in thinking. Okay. So get rid of negative power as soon as possible. Right. First step, get rid of negative power. Okay. So that's 3. Now 4. Right. There may be another way to do it, but I find easiest that I convert negative power into positive first. No, there's no easier one. There's no easier one. Right? Right? It's for you. I'm working for the whole class. Times x cubed y times negative 3 x to the power of negative 3. Okay. So 2 places I see the negative power. Isn't it? 2 places I see negative power. So those two places I will change. Is there anywhere else you see negative power? No. So I will put it x squared times x cubed. So both of them, they got in denominator. Right. So the rest, they are all positive power. I'll keep them as it is. 3 times x cubed y times negative 3. Right. Okay, now we can start working. Sign. It's multiplication division, isn't it? How many all together sign? Only one negative. So my final answer is negative. Then I'll work with numbers. Whether they're multiplication, division, it doesn't matter. Numbers, what are they? 3 times 3. It's no more negative 3 now. We have already worked with the sign. So it is 9. Numerator. Then we work with alphabets. X. Okay. Same numerator and denominator cancels out. Same thing, you cancel it out. Your work is less. Okay. So what are we left with?
X squared and 1.
Okay. So I'm done with x squared. And now we'll deal with y. How many places y? 1. So I can't work with y now. So it'll just be y. That's number 4. Right? And now 5. 3 x to the power of negative 2. Right. Okay, I can't deal with the power of power first, right? If it is just the numerator or denominator, no bracket, then I can change from numerator to denominator. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply the rule. Every member of the bracket will take that power. Okay, so what is it? 3 to the power of negative 2. The way I think, the same way I write it. Okay, and then x to the power of negative 2. So I worked with power. Okay, now I see I have negative powers, isn't it? So what do we do? There is no fraction line, right? So I will create a fraction because 3 to the power of negative 2 right now, it's a negative power and it is in numerator. Right? So I will write it in denominator. Okay. Then I will work with alphabet x. X to the power of negative 2. I will write it in denominator. Okay. Only negative power will change the place. Okay. What I'm left with in numerator? 1. Then later on, I can simplify. 3 squared is how much? 9. Right? So I can say 1 divided by 9. Okay, x squared is just x squared. I can't work with it. We okay with this? All right, that's number 5. And now 6. Okay. So what is 6? 2 x to the power of 0, y to the power of 7, z times negative 3, y to the power of negative 2 times z. Okay, so I don't like negative powers. It's a different case. If you like positive or negative both. For me, I don't like negative powers. So what do we do? Right, put that y to the power of 2 in denominator. Is there anywhere else negative power? No. So I can work this part, negative 3 and z, because y to the power of negative 2 is already gone. Right? So the rule wise or step wise, we deal with negative signs first. How many negatives? 1. So they are all in multiplication. So final answer is negative. So I'm done with sign. Now numbers. What are the numbers there? Right, there is 2 and there is 3. 6. Then we deal with each alphabet. Okay, so let me start with x to the power of 0. That part is 1. Anything to the power 0 is 1. And then we deal with y. Okay, so I have y to the power of 7. I will keep it as it is for now because there's another y denominator. Okay, then z. Z to the power of 1 and another power 1. So z squared. Fine. Okay, now I still have to work with 2 places y. Right? So minus 6 is as it is times 1 will not change anything. There's no more x now. So y to the power of 5. Why 5? When you have a division, you subtract the power. So I'll subtract where the bigger power is. Where is the bigger power? Numerator. So I'll subtract in numerator. Right? And z squared. Right? Okay. Can I work anything there? Right. What's the 7? Question number 7? 7. So it is 9 a to the power of negative 3 divided by 18 a. Okay. Negative power. If you have a problem in changing the places, you highlight the base and the power where negative is there. Okay. So that you know you are going to change only that part in denominator. Okay. So the one which is not highlighted, it remains there. Okay. So what is it? 9, 18, and 8. Okay. Now we deal with numbers. It's half. Numerator is 1, denominator is 2. Both of them they're in table of 9. Then a to the power of 4. It is in denominator. It done. Right. 8. Then 3 m n squared divided by negative 27 m to the power of minus 1 times n. Okay. Where is the negative power? One place only. That negative with 27 is not negative power. Okay. It's a negative 27 number. We don't change the place of a number. We change the place of a negative power only. Right. So by that time, everything remains the same. Let me just change that power first. So I'm done with that. Okay. Then if you want to work here, 3 and 27. Negative sign, 1 over 9. Okay. 1m remains there. I can work on n squared divided by n. It becomes n in numerator, n to the power of 1. 2 minus 1. Okay, numerator. Then I still have 2 places m. So I have to carry on, otherwise you're going to lose 1 mark. Negative 1 over 9, m squared 9, n. Okay. That's number 8. And now 9. Okay. So 9 has a big bracket and it has got the power 3. So it's negative 2, x to the power of negative 2, x to the power of negative 3, and y squared. Okay, so negative power. How many places? 2. So I change their places. That negative 2 has nothing to do with the negative power. Okay, so the numerator, I will write it in denominator, x to the power of negative 2 as power 2. And denominator, x to the power of negative 3, I'll take it up, numerator. Y squared stays the same. Power 3 stays the same. Right. Then I have two options to give either power 3 or first I work inside the bracket. Okay. So according to BODMAS rule, I have to work inside the bracket first. Inside the bracket, x to the power of 3 numerator, x to the power of 2 denominator. So what can I work with x? How can I work there? X to the power of 3, more in numerator. So my answer 3 minus 2 is 1. That minus 2 stays as it is, that y squared stays as it is. Now there is nothing in a bracket I can do. Right. So now I will use the exponent. Right. Okay. Negative 2, negative to the power of 3. Forget about negative 2. Right. We work with the sign, then the number, then every alphabet. So negative cube. It's negative times negative times negative is negative. 2 cube, 8. And x to the power of power. And y to the power of 6. Okay. So that was number 9. Now 10. So it has got a negative 7, x to the power of negative 7 to the power of 2. Right. Once again, where is the negative power? Exponent. So I will highlight it so that I don't get mixed up with the first negative 7. Right. So first negative 7 stays as it is, and x to the power of negative 7 will go denominator. And power 2 is as it is. Can I work inside the bracket? Is any simplification possible? No. So now I will give power 2. So negative to the power of 2, positive. 7 squared. And x to the power of 7 to the power of 2, 49. 14. Why? It's 7 times 2, not 7 times 7. Okay, 7 times 2 is 14.
Can you say 49?
So, right.
Like that.
Yeah, it's fine. A to the power of negative 5 and b to the power of negative 3. Okay, there's no powers there, right? Bracket, there's no bracket there. So we pick up individual alphabet. Is there a negative power here? So what do I do? Okay, so I'm done with numerator. Then I'll see, okay, is there a negative power there? Denominator. So to convert into positive. All right. So power 3 minus power 5, or 5 minus 3, what it is? Huh? Can't we do 5 minus 3? Why it stays the same? No, we don't talk about like terms in multiplication division. Right? We don't have the same base. Right? If they are different base, I can't mix them. Right? Okay, so my answer remains there. Now 12. Okay. Number 12. It's negative 4, p to the power of negative 4, q to the power of 3, denominator is negative 3, p to the power of negative 3, and q to the power of negative 4. So first, I don't like those negative powers, right? Either you can highlight one or you can highlight all of them together, it's fine, right? I'll prefer one highlighting and changing the place. Right now, p to the power of negative 4, numerator. So we will write it in denominator. Then highlight another one, p to the power of negative 3. I'm highlighting in denominator. So I will write it in numerator. Then another negative power, denominator. So I'll write it in numerator. Do I have another negative power? No. So the rest remains as it is. Negative 4 numerator, negative 3 denominator, and q to the power of 3 in numerator. Now we simplify. Sign. Negative divided by negative, positive. 4 divided by 3 is 4 divided by 3. We can't simplify that. One. Then alphabet, one alphabet. P to the power of 3 divided by p to the power of 4. Denominator is more power, isn't it? So I'll subtract 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay. And numerator, same base in multiplication. So what do we do? That we add the powers. 4 plus 3 is 7. That's number 12. Right. Then 13. I have a bracket and a square. I will not apply the square until I finish working out inside the bracket. Okay. So it has got a fraction, negative 3, x to the power of negative 1, y, negative 9, x to the power of negative 2, and y to the power of negative 3. Once again, I have 3 places negative power. 1 in numerator, 2 in denominator. Okay. So let's change the powers first, numerator to denominator. So x to the power of 1 numerator will go in denominator. And x to the power of negative 2 denominator, we write it in numerator. Y to the power of negative 3 numerator, denominator, we write it in numerator. The rest stays there. Minus 3 numerator, minus 9 denominator, and y numerator. Power 2 stays as it is. Okay. So we do one step at a time. First, get rid of negative powers. Okay. Now we work. Negative divided by negative. Positive. Don't need to write, isn't it? 3 divided by 9. 3 in denominator. So it's 1 over 3. Then we work with x. 2 divided by x to the power of 1. Where? Numerator. 1 we don't need to write. Okay. And y to the power of 4. And then square. Now I can't work anything in bracket. So then I will apply the exponent. So 1 squared, 1. 3 squared, 9. X squared. And y to the power 4 to the power 2. Right? Power of power, multiply. So it will be y to the power of 8. 13. Then 14. 2x, there's no negative there. 3x squared, so far no negative. Y to the power of minus 1 to the power of negative 2. We work inside the bracket first. There is the negative power. All right. So where do we write that? Y to the power of negative 1. And it will be positive 1. Okay. Can I work for 2 and 3? No. Okay. Can I work between x numerator and x denominator? Okay. Where is the higher power? And what is the power in numerator? X to the power 1. So I have 2 and 1. So I'll work in denominator. It's x. Now I'll apply a negative power. Okay, negative power was there. Right. So 2 to the power of negative 2, how much? No, it's 2 to the power of negative 2. It's not negative 4. Y to the power of negative 2, 3 to the power of negative 2, and x to the power of negative 2. Right. Every member inside the bracket will take that power. It doesn't matter, negative or positive. Right. Now, how do we deal with those negative powers? Right. So, 2 to the power of negative 2 will go in denominator. Y to the power of negative 2 will go in denominator. 3 to the power of negative 2 will go in numerator. And x to the power negative 2, which is right now in denominator, when I write in numerator, it's positive 2. Right. Can I simplify now? What is my answer? 9 x squared 4 y squared. Right. Are we clear? Okay. There is another method also when you have a power. Right. So I'm doing that method right now. Right. If all multiplication division, I can start applying the power. Right. So I'm writing the question again. Right. I can also start applying that negative power too. 2 to the power of negative 2, x to the power of negative 2, 3 to the power of negative 2. Tell me, x to the power? And y to the power negative 1 times negative 2. Y to the power of positive 2. You can do this one also. We will see we have the same answer at the end or not. Okay. So now, how many places negative? 4. So I will write 2 to the power of 2. Numerator to denominator. 3 to the power of negative 2. Denominator to numerator. X to the power of negative 2. Numerator to denominator. Y to the power of negative 4. Denominator to numerator. Y to the power of 2. Denominator to numerator. No. Why not? It's not the negative power. It is a positive power. I don't have to change the place if it is a positive power. Okay. Now I can work with numbers. What are my numbers? Numerator? 9. 3 squared is 9. Denominator? 4. I will work with x to the power of 2, numerator. Y to the power of 2, denominator. Check. Do we have the same answer? Okay, so it is up to you which method you follow. Okay. Fine. Any question? No. All right.